Giving a kid a knife to work with, some people would think that was dangerous. But it's more about what are the safety issues and how do you communicate that really well to the kids, you know? Going on a rope swing, some people might be like, oh, that's dangerous. But it's like, okay, how can we build it so it's not going to break? How can we make sure that this activity is safe? Because there's a certain amount of risk aversion in the world, by which I mean some people won't let kids do almost anything because they're worried about what might happen. For me, it's a more appealing approach to say, if we're going to do this, how can we make it safe and how can we make it workable? So I think it gives kids a sense of responsibility when they're given a tool and they're taught how to use it properly. And it's really, really, really important that it's not used improperly, particularly when we're working with sharps. So in bushcraft, sharps are knives, axes, saws, and particularly with a young group, I take a long time before I let the kids get their hands on them, you know, and we'll go very slowly, safe practice. We have a sort of safety bubble around each kid when they're using a knife. The axe is very, very, you know, potentially dangerous, and so we're very, very careful, and I'll do most of that. The younger the kids, the more I'll take on of the tool, and the older the kids, the more I'll say, all right, you know what you're doing now, we can go ahead. If there was any kind of an emergency, I have an assistant with me, and I have my phone with me. I'm first aid trained, so it's not like we're really going out in the wilderness and getting ourselves lost and being silly. We're very safety focused all the whole time. And each potential hazard has its own risk assessment and your own way of dealing with that. And so, you know, we do work with fire, and we just have to really drill the kids as to what's safe, how it's safe to work around that fire. I'm very cautious around water. So if we go in a river, it's like shallow and we go paddling. I never take kids swimming because I'm not trained as a lifeguard. You have to be careful in the summer. We went for a walk last week and it was so hot, and where we ended up had very little shade, and you've got to be really cautious about that sort of thing as well. So, you know, a day like today we might head for the shade much more than the open sun. So every activity's got its risk, and every risk has its solution.